We are Good morning. We are live on the air. Today is October 27th and it's 10 a.m. Eastern, very early 7 a.m. Pacific time. And we
Woo!
want to welcome you woohoo, to Monday Momentum, Make Some Money, Honey, with my co-host Sarah Coolidge. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, it's Sarah Coolidge. 7 o'clock in California, up and running. It's Monday. We're getting our week started.
And our third co-host, Lindakaye. Where are you, Linda?
Good morning from beautiful, crisp New Hampshire. It's been a gorgeous weekend.
I bet. I bet the leaves are amazing, aren't they?
Well, they're starting to fall.
Yeah.
Really? How about in Reno? How about where you are, Sarah? Do you still have leaves or no?
We have a few, but mostly it all blew off. We had some rain and a teeny bit of snow last weekend, and yeah, we're heading into it now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good though. We need it. We have had 3 years of drought, 2 years of drought. We need snow.
Absolutely. Well, here in Maryland, where Brenda Graham and I are this morning, I can actually see green leaves on my trees. It definitely hasn't completed high season or full season or anything. Here in Baltimore, we're doing good. We're having a nice slow autumn, which I absolutely adore because that means that the trees will go through full gold and red and orange. Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. Well, this morning I wanted to talk to everyone about a fantastic topic that I have been asked about by several of my clients, family, friends, people who are doing marketing for their business or doing marketing for other businesses, and that is about hashtags. Hashtags, that's the pound sign and then the word hashtags. And Sarah and Linda, do you get that question often, or are you curious about what hashtags are, what they're used for? Sarah?
Well, yes, I'm definitely curious, and I feel like hashtags have something to do with Twitter, but maybe that's not even, maybe it's bigger than that, but yeah, I don't get them. I mean, I know they're out there, and I know I'm supposed to know, so I'm thrilled that you're going to teach me because that would help me, I'm sure.
Well, we'll start with some basics. How about you, Linda? Linda and I do very similar things to those of you who aren't 100% familiar with us. Linda and I do very similar things, but she's even more techie. I think I'm more salesy. I guess that's our kind of split. But what about it, Linda? People must ask you constantly.
Yes, techie, but not so in the social media realm. But the biggest thing that I hear is, hashtags are for Twitter.
Oh, hashtags are for Twitter, right?
Well, I just said that, didn't I?
That's a myth for us.
Are
Yeah.
they for something else? Are you going to let us in on a secret?
Wait, there's a secret, but wait, there's more. There's always more. There's always more ways to make some money. There's always more ways to use these tools. And I know Brenda, are you able to communicate with us this morning? Are you listening in? Okay, she's listening in. So hashtags are a very interesting conversation that I have with people, and I don't think of them any more than as a tool to be used to help market my products or services or my clients' products or services. But of course, in being asked that question, I started getting really curious and delving deeper into what exactly these things are. I'll tell you how I've used them, and then then I'll tell you what I've learned. I always used hashtags when I was trying to promote a particular topic for someone or something. Usually I was using them related around an event. So for instance, it could be anything from Halloween and Christmas, and I'm putting a hashtag for that, or something more specific like a networking event, like for BNI. Like we had Jerry Schwartz from BNI on a few weeks ago, and I might have been attending a BNI meeting, and I would put the hashtag there behind whatever I was promoting. So I'd go online and I'd do a post, whether it was Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and I would put in a hashtag. So Sarah, you were just saying you thought of them more around Twitter. Have you ever used a hashtag before, or
Not
were
on
you only?
purpose.
What was that?
Not on purpose.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple people that are working with me on my campaign that are using them and trying to get me to. I mean, they're trying to rope me in, so I'm really, really glad because I want to learn about them. But no, I've never used one on purpose. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them. I have definitely used LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, so if I could use them better, that would be fine by me.
Absolutely, and I guess that's the same thing you were speaking of too, Linda. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I used them in the past to get information, say about a storm or a power outage or, you know, some event that was going on, but proactively, not for me.
Oh, well, that actually is really cool. So you've actually used them to harvest data, to harvest information, as opposed to farm and reap. I always think of social media that way, whether you're being the farmer, whether you're in the planting and the sowing season, or whether you're in the harvesting and the reaping season. I always think about search engine optimization that way, or social media that way. You know, where am I in the chain? And so you're saying you've actually been using it to harvest data.
Wow.
And it's really interesting, especially last winter when we had power outages and storms and things like that. It's really nice to know just in a few seconds, because power's so precious. Get on there, find out what's going on, get off.
Awesome. Well, that's very, very cool. So then I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with how people use hashtags to get information. Because, Linda, you've started with the most amazing thing, and this is really, really crucial. If you were in some sort of an earthquake, a tornado, a snowstorm, a power outage, flooding, some sort of a natural disaster or something going on in your community, you may not be able to get information from a radio, a TV, from your computer, but you might be able to get something from your cell phone, right?
Hmm.
And you probably can't call someone. You may be able to text them, but what you can do is you can search, even on Google, Google+, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere, using a hashtag. And what you would do is you would hit the pound sign, the hashtag, and search for that word. So I'm taking it, Linda, that you were doing something like searching pound sign or hashtag power outage, or...
Yeah, and you know, related terms for the name of the particular storm or something like that.
Excellent.
And the reason I found it and thought about it is I happened to be online browsing around when it happened, and all of a sudden all these tweets started coming in and all this stuff happening. It's like, wow, I could actually stay, you know, abreast of what's going on here very quickly.
Absolutely. So what it truly is, what a hashtag truly is a way for people to find out or send out information that's isolated about a conversation or about a topic faster. So, pound sign Ebola, pound sign Election Day, pound sign Halloween. I mean, it really doesn't matter what the actual event or comment is. That's how people are searching for data, and how that information is traveling faster, because when you have that pound sign, it's isolating that information around that topic.
So is it a way to basically, and forgive me for perhaps being obtuse, but it's a way to tell the internet, I want to know anything with the hashtag related to Election Day, anything related to this storm, and it just basically says this could be anything else, the hashtag, as long as this word is in there too. I want it to come to me. Is that
Absolutely.
kind of what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like a flag or a marker. It's like a red flag. Hello, over here. Look over here. Election Day. We're here. It's kind of like that. So if you're thinking of it from starting from that ground zero of, okay, there's been some sort of an occurrence, or Election Day or voting day is coming up, and I want to find out anything about that topic, and I want to send out information related to that topic, you start there, which means that people, consumers, viewers, watchers, potential customers, voters, what have you, if they're searching for something around that topic, they will find your data faster and your post and your information faster by virtue of having that hashtag in front of that statement.
So mine would get there before someone who didn't use the hashtag.
Theoretically, yes, absolutely. If someone is searching hashtag Election Day or hashtag voting. So the next step of that is that when you're trying to communicate information, you want to make sure that your hashtag is really relating to that topic, first of all. So if it's something about that, so if it's about Election Day, in other words, I want to say if there was a movie called Election Day or a book called Election Day
Our
or
entire
an
life.
election day, right? Exactly. Vote. Related to that particular topic, which is super duper important, as well as isolating the number of words around that topic. So, for instance, # election day versus # on election day I'm going to vote for.
Mm.
That isn't going to be, that's too long and that's too abstract and that's too much.
Or election day Tahoe.
Yeah. Well, I already have # election, # voting, # North Tahoe voting. Yeah.
Or #. Now that's around a topic, an event, a date, but think about it in terms of, well, let's stick on this and talk about something that I think is interesting, which is trending topics. So let's just say there's a power outage in New Hampshire, and Linda's looking it up, and so are 1,000 other people, or election day Tahoe, or whatever that topic is, and a lot of people are looking for information about that hashtag. That could be a trending topic, and trending topics that aren't too far-fetched that you probably already know about is like when the royal baby was born, or Halloween, or Katrina, a natural disaster. I mean, I keep coming back to that because it's something that the world, globally, people are looking at that topic. But then there's other stuff that you could search that you'd be amazed. Health and wellness. It's a huge topic. Now, it might not be trending all of the time, but you will find a lot of information when you search that hashtag, okay? Also, when they say trending topic, on Twitter there are trending topics, and on Google Plus there are trending topics, and on Facebook. So each individual social media site will also have varying trends because it depends on what the population on that social media channel is searching, right? So do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how do you find out what the trends are? Or is that something you're going to tell us now?
That is an excellent question.
Yeah.
So Linda probably knows on Twitter how to do that. Have you ever looked that up on Twitter, Linda?
Oh yeah, it's been a while though.
Well, I'm going to show you guys. I'm gonna share.
Yeah! Woo-hoo! Hands-on training. Monday momentum.
Yes,
Make some
absolutely.
money.
I would like to share my screen with you all and show you exactly how to find it. So here's my Twitter page, and when people come to my Twitter page, this is what they see. And I love my banner here that says success and has the little feet of all these different people here. I think that this talks a little bit about who I am, and then I have my photo here. But if I want to find out what trending topics are, when I come here, I don't usually come to my page. This is the page I come to, which is my feed. This is my news feed. And look over here on the left-hand side of the page. What do we see?
Halloween, The Walking Dead. So that's all about candidates, right?
Trends, yeah. These are the trends. This is what people are talking about. This is extremely important. Halloween is a trend. London, The Walking Dead, which is a TV show.
No. It's candidates right now.
Oh,
The week before election. That's me.
Oh, well, you're The Walking Dead. Okay. Oh God. So these are the topics that people are that's trending. These are on Twitter right now. This is what's trending. How is that important to you as an individual business owner?
Well, if we could hook up to any of those somehow, but it would have to make sense, right?
Bingo. You have actually hit the nail on the head, and that should actually be the tweet. Use your trending topic, but it has to make sense. Because you can't just throw Halloween into, some random conversation, or London, or if
But you could decide to have a Halloween event based on, okay, that's trending now, so we should use it if we can, and # it or hashtag it.
Exactly so. Or yes, we did. I don't really know what hashtag yes we did specifically means, but I don't want to throw in # yes we did on Google Hangout this morning with Sarah, Linda, and Brenda and find out that it doesn't mean what I thought it meant, which is exactly the story that happened not too long ago. There was a very large product and a very well-known product that their social media expert accidentally used a hashtag for a topic that they misunderstood what the actual meaning was. And so when that message went out, it was really inadvertently and in error. It was a definitely not intentional. Something went out and it was a real big problem. So you want to definitely make sure before you use a trending topic hashtag that you know exactly what it's about. And there's an easy way to find out what that relates to. You can Google it. You can go right to Google. You can go right to Twitter and type it in, what does this mean? Or you can go to hashtag.org and you can look up what it means, what that means. And I'll give you a real good example too, is #FF or #MM. Do either of you, do you guys know what those pound
French
signs
fries and M&Ms, my daily diet.
Linda, have you ever used #FF or MM?
No, I'm almost afraid to ask.
Oh. Well, #FF stands for Friday follow, or follow friend. I mean, it's a follow. It's to get more people to follow you on Twitter. And MM can mean Monday motivation, or Monday music, or music motivation.
Or Monday momentum. Come on.
Right. So there's momentum doesn't trend, but motivation does. So Monday motivation trends. So
that would be a good way to market this hangout, using that. And if we could assume that Halloween means what we all think it means,
right.
we could have also used that for today's hangout and had a Halloween topic, because it's going to be too late next Monday unless we could do it post-Halloween or something.
Well, then it could.
Right? I'm just sort of, trying to.
Say that again.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, is that kind of the idea? We could do that if we wanted to, or if we were. Yeah. Okay.
100%.
I'm learning so much. Thank you, Julia.
And the big thing is to be on the cusp and the cutting edge of using that hashtag. So, for instance, Oreo cookies was one of the first people to use #RoyalBaby and #Fashion Week. Fashion Week being a huge event in New York City surrounding the fashion industry, and they talked about black and white is oh so last week. #Fashion Week, because that does relate, right? That's kind of funny and cute, and we can use the same thing with Halloween with any of our businesses, or London with any of our businesses if we're using it appropriately, especially using Election Day or Vote for Me or Vote Sarah or whatever your hashtag is. You can use that, especially if you're using it in advance. So not just surrounding a specific day, but letting people know to use it in advance. So that is the basis of the conversation. My stepdad, Bob, was the first one to say to me, well, how do I put a hashtag into something? How do I know where to put it? And is it some sort of a special thing I have to do? So I don't know if either one of you have ever thought about that. Like, is it some sort of special key? Because it's just the pound sign. It's just the number sign, which is on the 3 on your keyboard when you hit control. If you put that, but there's no spaces. Now, I know both of you know that, but not a lot of people do. It's interesting. Like, is it some sort of special code? I know Linda's going, of course we knew that. Right, Linda? You're saying, I knew that. Of course I knew that. But I did get that question this week. It was, Julia, I don't understand. Do I have to go somewhere special and copy it and paste it? Is there some sort of extra code in there? And it's interesting because people don't realize even when they're coding anymore, right? Because we do it now. It's part of our lifestyle. Does that make sense?
Definitely. It's part of my lifestyle.
You're not even thinking about doing it, and you're doing it. It's like when you send somebody an email and you type in julia@juliaflynnwerre.com. That's kind of a line of code, right? I mean, would you agree, Linda, or no?
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, it's like a line of code, but you're not thinking about it that way. But we didn't use an @ sign. In 1985, when you sent somebody a letter, you wouldn't say Julia at street address. You know what I mean? When we started doing that, I remember thinking, will the computer know what that means? And it's funny, but it happens all the time. I will also take that to be a little bit farther, which is, now we're talking about specifically using the hashtag and that information. But we want to relate that around either a product or a brand or an event, right? So make some money, honey, Monday Momentum, when I'm using the hashtag, which we've been using all along for this Google Hangout, I use the hashtag make some money, honey, but I also use it for our individual names. So right now, if you were to search hashtag lindakaye, hopefully you would find these Hangouts as well as hashtag Sarahcoolidge, hashtag juliaflynnwerre, and sometimes I put different people's name in. That's so that you can find us a little faster.
Julia, one question people might have is, how do you create a new hashtag? Can anyone just start using a hashtag, or do you have to have it registered?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know, I don't exactly know the answer to that question. I would say that it's a matter of what trends. I don't know that.
Start your own trend, right?
Yeah. I think you can just make them up.
Right.
You don't have to register them. You mean, you make it up, but if nothing ever happens with it?
Well, that's my question, Linda. I mean, is that something that, I mean, have you ever experienced that where you'd register it like a trademark? Because now that you're mentioning it, what if it's your trademark? That's a great question. I really don't know the answer to that. I have always just started using them, and the more they're used, the more prolific they are. But have you experienced that before?
I have not, but you know, obviously if it's someone else's trademark, there could be a problem with that. But if it's your own, you would hope that it would catch on. But
yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, but the next iteration of that, the next place that I was going with it was somewhere where I would say that people are trying to get their hashtags to catch on. You know, that's their goal. And
then some way to monetize that. So I'll sell you my hashtag because it makes so much money. But you'd have to own it outright before you could sell it.
Right, and I don't think there's a way to do that at this particular moment that I know of.
Yeah.
Well, there must be something about that. Well, the next iteration of that is to use a hashtag for a promotion or a coupon, an event, or a contest. So, for instance, Kit Kat, give me a break. Give me a break. You know that? So Kit Kat has a hashtag for their candy bar, but then they also have the hashtag that relates back to their brand and their contest. And theoretically, Sarah, what are your hashtags, Sarah, for your election?
You're assuming that I have some.
You said you did. You said you had people in your.
Well, I have some, and I'm trying to. I mean, they're not. They don't make sense to me based on what you've been saying. They're things like "win with Sarah" or "get rid of Sue." I mean, they don't. To me, they don't seem like anything that anybody would. Based on what you've been saying, I mean, I would make ones that just, at least in an elementary way, say things like, you know, hashtag North Tahoe election, because that's what people would be looking for. I mean, if we'd been doing this for a year, we might have had time to develop some cute little thing that nobody else had heard of and had it gain some momentum, but I don't feel like we're at that point. We only have a week now. Why am I echoing?
But that's not necessarily the case, because if you start promoting it and letting people know, for instance, vote for Sarah.
Yeah.
Or win with Sarah, right? Or interactive synergy, you know, for Linda's business. Or make some money, honey. I mean, the idea is to use it as conspicuously and make it as prevalent as your own name and your own email address.
So new thinking for North Tahoe. I mean, we could do it now, and it may or may not have some impact, but we could have been doing it all along, and it might have caught on that way, because that's sort of the
right. Yes, that's
tagline that we've been using.
But it can also be used surrounding a particular contest or an event to help further it and promote it, and to say, if you want to win a free ice cream cone at Julia's Ice Cream Factory, then use the hashtag #BurCold. You know, I want ice cream.
Okay, so how would you do that?
Okay, so I would say that the fastest way, actually I want to hear Linda's take on this because she has good thinking, and then I'll put what out there, what I would think. But Linda, what would you suggest as a way to promote that to start with?
We've got an echo going on. I don't know if we should.
I'm going to mute me. Well, Linda, do you have any thoughts about it or no?
No. I mean, obviously, when you try and promote something online, you look at offline methods of promoting it because you want to get cross-exposure. And I think the most difficult thing to do when you're online is to be 100% online. So if you're using it in all of your campaigns, you know, Sarah's got this big poster that says hashtag, you know, elect Sarah. Just different exposure. Different getting it, email signature, you know, anything you do in print, anything you do on the radio, just different media bringing you back online, as well as, you know, promoting it online with everything you use.
Absolutely. I think that that's 100% true, and I think what happens is this. See, the way you're using it, Sarah, is, for instance, what Linda just said, # hashtag elect Sarah. That means anybody else can join the conversation, and they can find out where you're going to be, what you're going to do. They can find you faster. They can join the conversation. That's the actual messaging there, is they're joining the conversation based around hashtag elect Sarah, or based around make some money, honey. So as we get more followers here to this, and people want to find out what we're doing, where we're going, what we're talking about, they're going to type that in and they're going to search it, which is exactly where we started with what Linda was saying. She wanted to join the conversation about where's the power outage, how do I find out what's happening, how do I keep in communication in the conversation. But you have to promote that on your email, on your website, on your Facebook, and tell people, if you want to know where we're going to be, if you search hashtag elect Sarah, you'll be able to find us the fastest possible way. And I will say that because I've been using the hashtag make some money, honey, since we first got started. So if you search that on Google, the hashtag make some money, honey, I'm pretty much the only thing that comes up for that. But also comes up next to that, of course, are your names as well, because you're on with me at the same time, and I promote you the same way. But it's interesting. You can force it. You can force a trend around that and force people to find out more about that conversation, especially like around a specific event. Like, didn't you just have a harvest party in North Tahoe this past weekend?
Yes, there was a harvest fest, and you know, in the interest of how much time we have left, I just want to say that I would like to have your professional services to figure out if there's any or what we should do for the next week, because there is an event a week from tomorrow, and if there's a fun thing we can do to, you know, get me up and running and learning how to do hashtags, as well as push this election from a whole different perspective, I want to do it. So I'm hiring you, and everybody else on this call, you should be hiring her too if you want to know how to boost your business online.
Well, then the number one thing we should all be focusing on, since we're all hired, is I love what Linda's suggestion was, elect Sarah. That's it, right? Isn't that the easiest one? We would start with that. We would research to see whether or not that is already taken, if there's some Sarah in some other area.
Yeah, like Alaska somewhere else, you know.
But we would be promoting that hashtag and around that particular event, and letting everyone know to just join the conversation, search # or hashtag elect Sarah, and that is across every channel. Google+, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. And of course that will link to other social media sources that we don't usually talk about very much, but that are very much active, like Tumblr, Dig, Flickr, all the other ones that we don't talk about a lot, but that are also there. When you use that hashtag, you're really promoting the event, and using it around a contest or a promotion, like an oil change for a car dealership, or for Brenda. We haven't talked much about Brenda's specific brands, but Brenda does health and wellness, so using that around health and wellness products is smart. So now that we're down to the last minute, I am going to say that this is my challenge that I am issuing to every single person watching and listening. Get yourself a hashtag. Try it out, experiment. It's a tool. It's like having an extra hammer or screwdriver, right? So I'm going to kick it over to my co-hosts to sign off, and then we're going to be done. Linda, let's start with you.
Well, Julie, once again, this has been an amazing, enlightening Monday Momentum, and hashtag awesome.
Very good.
And who are you, and how do I find you?
Lindakaye, lindakaye.com.
Sarah?
Yeah, I agree, and I would like very much for us to talk next week, unless you have another plan, about how exactly you would do a promotion like that. You know, use my hashtag and you could win an oil change, or, you know, win an ice cream cone, because I don't get that piece of it. How do I figure out who to give the ice cream cone to? So please, please, please. And I am Sarah Coolidge. I work with CEO Space, and you can find me at ceospacewest.com. And also right now, I'm sure you can figure out I'm involved in an election, and a week from now, I'm going to be elected.
That's right. And I'm juliaflynnwerre, and you've been on Make Some Money, Honey. Today we've been discussing hashtags, and every week we try to come up with interesting ways of keeping your business moving forward in momentum. You can join us every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, by visiting ceospacewest.com and looking for the big orange button, or by visiting makesomemoneyhoney.com and clicking the big orange button to join in the conversation. Thanks again, and we're off the air.